Ryan Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630.
WMAL.
8:07, you're with the Morning Majority. Let's get right to it because we have a big newsmaker on the line. He is the former Speaker of the House of Representatives. He is a GOP presidential hopeful. We're talking, of course, about the one, the only NEWT Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, good to have you on the line with us. Thanks for joining us.
Well, it's great to be with you.
I got a question for you because I'm looking at the president's proposal for deficit reduction, which is going to be announced today. I got a problem in trying to understand what the strategy here is, because he is asking for $1.5 trillion in tax increases aimed mostly at the wealthy, and you know the Republicans are never going to go for that. And then the other side of the equation is he's asking for cuts in benefit programs like Medicare, and you know the Democrats are not going to go along with that. Why would you propose a bill that neither the Democrats or the Republicans are likely to be able to support?
Well, there are times when you watch, let's say, a really bad football team, and you keep trying to say to yourself, no, why would they run that play? And then you begin to figure out they don't have a clue what they're doing. I think this is a president who is so far in over his head. He's trying to do a job that is so much bigger than he is. And he kind of, I thought, let it slip last week in a very Freudian way when he said to the crowd in North Carolina, if you love me, help me pass the bill. I don't think, Ronald Reagan, I couldn't imagine Ronald Reagan ever in his career being that vulnerable and that egocentric. The presidency isn't about us loving you. The presidency is about you doing a job, and the job's pretty straightforward. Keep us safe, keep us working, run the government effectively, meet our challenges, help the American people understand what we have to do to succeed. It's a pretty clear-cut job, and I think that what you have is a president who has a very radical ideology. He believes in class warfare. He believes in bureaucratic socialism. And he's confronting the reality that his ideas don't work, and he can't give them up, and his allies on the left won't let him give them up. And so he's just floundering. I mean, it's really very sad for the country to have a president who is this much in over his head.
Mr. Speaker, you said he's bereft of ideas. You are a man who has always had a lot of ideas. And quite frankly, when I watched you in the debates, I saw that, your ideas were resonating with Republicans at that big Tea Party debate. They were really liking what you were saying. And yet I look at the numbers and I say, it's not finding traction yet. So where is the status of your campaign, and how do you turn that around?
Well, we had the last three polls that came out showed me either in third place or tied for third place. I'm pretty happy to be there at this point. I'm willing to have Governor Perry and Governor Romney as the front runners and let people look at them for a while. I'm developing a new approach with a new set of ideas. If you go to NEWT.org, you'll see a lot of things we're doing. Next week, we will unveil the outlines of a 21st century contract with America. It's going to be very bold. It's going to be, as you asked about the president, it's going to be the scale we need to fix the country. And I think that frankly, will give us the right debating platform. But we've been steadily improving since late July, and I think people will see us continue to gain strength because of the fact that we're in a period of real difficulty. And I think when you have real problems, this isn't just about politics. This is about the historic future of America, what kind of country we're going to be, what kind of world are we going to leave our children. I think being the candidate who has big enough solutions and being a candidate who, I'm the only candidate in the race who in Washington has helped balance the budget for 4 straight years, helped reform a major entitlement, helped bring unemployment down to 4.2%. So I think both the track record of having actually done it and the size of the solutions I'm proposing give me a pretty significant net advantage over good people. These are friends of mine, and they're all good people.
Speaker, we've got a debate coming up Thursday, and in the past couple of debates, you've turned the questioning back on the moderators on several occasions. Too much applause from the audience, lots of crowd pleasing going on in those moments. And I wonder, is anybody going to get a blasting from NEWT Gingrich this week on the questions? And also, isn't it sort of legitimate for Republicans to go after each other in these debates? Isn't that part of the purpose of it?
Sure, look, I don't mind if the Republicans go after each other. I just don't particularly want the moderators trying to set up a fight. You know, the Perry and Romney have a legitimate reason to debate each other because right now they're both trying to vie to be the front runner. Congresswoman Bachmann came up the other night and had some very good points to make. It's fine with me if the candidates decide that they want that's their strategy, that's what they should do. I just got tired of two things. I got tired of gotcha questions that are really designed to belittle the candidate, have no meaning in terms of public policy. And I got tired of watching in the NBC Politico debate an all-out effort to get Romney and Perry to fight that I thought was just frankly silly. They were off on sort of nitpicking, and I think the country agreed, and certainly the response I got. If you'll notice in the CNN Tea Party debate, I was totally positive. I thought that Wolf Blitzer did a fine job. I thought that it was well done, and you know, I was pretty cheerful and happy just to answer questions. I don't go into these things looking for a fight. I go into these I see debates as an opportunity to talk directly with the American people without editing, and to share, even if it's only in 60-second bursts, to share very specific big ideas that could help us solve our problems.
You said something in the first debate that caught my attention that didn't get any really news traction to it, and that was you said America is still a developing country. Everybody talks about Brazil and India and China as developing countries, but you said America is still a developing country, and I completely understand where you're coming from, and I agree on that, and I like that optimism. I'm wondering where you think this country can go without Barack Obama as president. How optimistic are you that things can rebound quickly with a Republican as the president of the United States?
I think the economy can start to turn around in a matter of days, and I think it can start growing again within 18 months. Just give you one example. We have the largest fossil fuel supply of any country in the world, a bigger supply than Saudi Arabia, a bigger supply than Russia or Canada. We've been very fortunate, but we have a government which has been consistently anti-American energy, and a bureaucracy which has a deep history of being anti-American energy. Just give you one example. In the state of Alaska, we, the American people, own 69% of the state. That's an area that is 1.5 times bigger than Texas. So you could set aside 1/2 of Texas as national parks. That's 125,000 square miles. And that would still leave you an area the size of Texas to develop. Now, today the federal government makes it so difficult, the litigation, the regulation, that we are crippling our own development. But if we decided to aggressively go out and create an American energy plan, the amount of revenue that would raise for the federal government, the number of jobs that would create for the American people, and the degree to which that would strengthen the dollar would be amazing.
How optimistic are you that the Republicans are going to win in 2012, no matter who they are?
I think if we have a candidate who can stand on the same platform with Obama and can debate him to a standstill, we will win. You know, people talk about how much money have you raised and all that, and I just point out to them, if money is the number one criteria, Obama is going to get reelected because he will have more money than anybody else. He has the power of the presidency to pretty well force people to donate money to him. He was seriously trying to raise $1 billion, which tells you how weak he thinks he is. So if money is the key, but I think the key is ideas. And I think if we have a candidate who can debate Barack Obama next October, that we will beat him decisively, and we'll pick up 12 or 13 Senate seats and about 20 to 30 House seats. The contract with America I'm going to outline next week in Iowa is, I think, going to be an example of the scale of change we need. And I think the American people understand it. I think they want that scale of change. And I think they're prepared to impose it on Washington.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's great to have you on the program. As always, we appreciate your time.